The department handed out bonuses. I'm a department chief, I got $3,000. Admin walked away with a clean $50,000. That moment, every last bit of drive I had just died. Starting that day, I clocked out on time. Every single day. Half a month later, every high-risk surgery in the hospital had a wait list stretching 3 months out. I watched the chaos unfold, and this time I did nothing. 3 a.m., the OR lights were cold and white, draining every last bit of color from my face. The final suture was cut. On the monitor, that lifeline, the one that had flatlined more times than I could count, was finally holding steady. I pulled off my sweat-soaked mask, revealing a face too exhausted to feel anything. 12 straight hours. I worked like a precision machine, pulling a kid with a complex congenital heart defect back from the edge of death. Every muscle in my body was screaming. My brain felt completely hollowed out, nothing left. Head nurse Zhang Jie walked over and handed me an envelope, her eyes one full of sympathy and barely contained anger. Dr. Chen, this is the special bonus for this project. Please hold on to it. The envelope was thin, practically weightless, a ridiculous contrast to my lead-heavy body. I squeezed it. A few bills. That's it. I didn't open it right away. Just gave her a nod, dragged my feet to the locker room, and changed out of my scrubs. I leaned against the cold locker and finally opened the envelope. 3 crisp red bills, 3,000 yuan. My hand froze midair. My mind went completely blank. 12 hours of total focus, pulling a critically ill child back from death, giving an entire family a second chance at life. And this is what it came down to. 3 grand. A chill I couldn't name started in my chest and spread to every corner of my body. This wasn't about the money anymore. This was an insult, raw, naked, and completely shameless. I walked out of the impatient building. The dead of night cold hit my face, but it couldn't touch the dead weight sitting in my chest. I passed the admin building, still lit up bright. A smug, bragging voice drifted out from a half-open window. Man, this deal was not easy. You have no idea how many drinks I had to sit through, but we got the contract. Wang Kai, head of administration. The director's own brother-in-law. A guy who couldn't tell which end of a stethoscope was which. The bonus? Oh, just a modest 50 grand. Thinking about picking up a new ride, my wife's been eyeing one. 50 grand. A new car. I stopped dead under the shadow of a tree and stared up at that glowing window. That shiny admin building. And behind me, the inpatient ward, soaked in the tears and desperate hopes of countless patients and families. 2 completely different worlds. One was a paradise where you schemed your way to easy money. The other was a hell where you gave everything and got scraps in return. I went back to my empty office. The walls were covered in banners. Virtue beyond compare. Miracle worker. A second father. Kindness immeasurable. Every single one of those banners represented a life I had pulled back from death's door. They used to be my pride, the fuel that kept me burning for others. Now they looked like mocking faces, laughing in silence at how naive and foolish I'd been. I picked up my phone. The screen lit up my expressionless face. I quietly found the alarm set for 6 a.m. One tap, deleted. Then I set a new one, 7:30 a.m. Once that was done, I turned off my phone. The whole world went dead silent. The next day, I slept in until broad daylight, something I had never done before. No frantic calls jerking me awake, no rushing out at the crack of dawn. I had time to make myself a simple breakfast and walk my daughter to school. Sunlight filtered through the leaves and fell warm on my shoulders. I realized I hadn't seen this city in daylight in a very long time. At exactly 5 p.m., I finished a routine coronary bypass. I put down the scalpel, took off my coat. I changed into my own clothes and headed out, when Director Zhang Guodong rushed over and cut me off. Chen Linyuan, where do you think you're going? There's an emergency consult tonight. Tricky case, I need you on it. He said it like it was the most obvious thing in the world, and for 10 years, it had been. Whenever the hospital needed me, I was there. No nights off, no weekends, no exceptions. It's after hours. Zhang Guodong just stared at me like I'd said something from another planet. After hours, but there's an emergency. Is it life or death right now, I asked. Well, not exactly. Vitals are stable for now, but it's complicated and I was hoping you could... If it's not an emergency, I cut him off, then schedule it during my working hours. I grabbed my bag and walked past him, leaving behind one line that stopped him cold. Director, following the rules is part of being a good doctor, too. First time I'd ever walked out of that hospital while the sun was still up. The golden light stretched my shadow out long behind me. I took a deep breath. Even the air tasted like freedom. My phone buzzed, a WeChat from my student Li Ji. You good, teacher? That passionate, straight-shooting kid, he must have picked up on something from all the commotion back in the department. I typed back 2 words, I'm fine, then added, get some rest. I put my phone away and smiled. Yeah, I was fine. It was everyone else who was about to have a problem. My on-time checkout routine was like a stone dropped into a still lake. At first, just a tiny ripple nobody noticed. But within a single week, that ripple had turned into a tidal wave. On the cardiothoracic surgery board, the column for high-complexity surgeries under my name was packed solid, booked out a full month. That meant patients who urgently needed surgery would have to wait at least 3 extra weeks. For heart patients, every extra day is another roll of the dice. That afternoon, I stepped out of my office, and a middle-aged woman immediately blocked my path. Dr. Chen, why can't my dad's surgery be moved up? He can't wait that long. Before I could even open my mouth, Lija stepped between us. Ma'am, please stay calm. Let's talk this through. The doctor's schedule is completely full right now. Full? How did it suddenly get full? It was never like this before. Her voice pulled in a crowd, other patients and family members in the hallway, all eyes locking onto me, full of accusation and confusion. I looked at that desperate woman, not a ripple of emotion inside me. I was just a doctor following hospital policy. This wasn't my doing. I ignored the commotion and walked straight to the elevator. Behind me, Lee Jae was doing his best to calm her down. Almost at the same moment, Director Jang Guodong's call came through. His voice was practically begging. Chen Linyuan, I'm begging you, please just stay late tonight. That patient's daughter basically tore my office apart. I was driving, windows down, evening breeze feeling real good. I pulled into a park. I'd promised my daughter we'd hang out. Within my working hours, my efficiency is the highest in this entire hospital, I said calmly. And you know that. I know, but that's not the point right now. Then what is the point? I shot back. That I keep letting my daughter grow up without a dad around. Just to patch up holes that should have never existed? Silence on the other end. I hung up. From the slide, my daughter's laughter rang out like a little bell. How long had it been since I'd just been here with her? Quiet, in the evening, with nowhere to be? The next day, the director called and asked me to come in for a chat. His office smelled like premium Da Hong Pao brewing in a clay teapot. Tea filling the air, he poured me a cup himself. His face wore a look of deep, pained concern. Linyuan, I brought you up through the ranks myself. I know your skills, I know who you are. You've always been the pride of this hospital. He led with flattery. I picked up the cup, slowly blew on it, and said nothing. But lately, what's gotten into you? There are patients out there waiting on you. Director, I haven't let personal feelings affect my work at all. I've simply been following the labor regulations this hospital set for us, 8-hour days in and out on time. What exactly did I do wrong? That knocked him back. His expression shifted. Rules are rigid, people aren't. You know what matters most for a doctor? Medical ethics. Ethics. I looked up, sharp eyes behind my gold-rimmed glasses, locked straight onto his. My ethics show up in those 8 hours, where I give 200% save lives and haven't made a single mistake. I paused, leaned in slightly, eyes on his, and said word by word, my ethics are not here to quietly clean up the mess left behind by incompetence and greed in this hospital's management. The director's face went stone cold. I didn't give him a second to recover. I pulled out my phone, opened a photo, and slid it across the desk. It was a screenshot of Wang Kai's social media. He was leaning against a brand new white luxury car, shades on, grinning like he owned the world. Posted the day after he pocketed that 50,000 yuan bonus.